I wanted to try out a Drown in the Lock today. Kind of hoping that there's maybe a little less grave hate with Breach gone. Haven't really seen Orzhov much recently, so I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot, see what happens. Um, Try to drown, try to shoot over a dismember, a little bit better into opposing Murktides and frogs. Try to cling, but some of the thoughts I had for this list, I don't. I've seen a few people going back and forth in the Discord on subtlety. It has really not been that good for me recently. And a lot of the plays that I see people commenting about that subtlety looks good on, I feel like are plays I'm not making. And obviously that plays a difference. So I saw somebody comment about like turn 2 frog into passing to your Boros opponent and they play an Ajani and you subtlety the Ajani feels really good. And all I could think was like, if I play a turn 2 frog and tap out and pass, and my opponent plays anything that's not a static prison, I'm winning that game. Like, I have already won that game. So, subtle thing of Johnny is just like, I don't care about that Ajani. Like, I get to untap with a frog free and clear and start pumping it and put you on like a 4-turn clock. It's like, okay, you got a Ajani. Woo. But maybe that's just me. I think Subtlety's been really good against Solitude, Baelmerk, which I both like haven't seen either of those hardly any since the ban update. Good into Scion of Draco out of Zoo. Haven't seen Zoo since the ban. So questionable. Also Tameo. Like, I've passed a bunch of Tameos and I just feel like they haven't really done anything for me. Like, I haven't had time to flip them. We've just been kind of chilling there. Mog flunkies. It's fine. Hopefully they're not too aggressive and I don't have to evoke subtlety. But they have mulligan to 5. You like being on the blind against somebody mulliganing to 5. I like where this is going. Okay. I'm gonna go Island Pass and kind of assume this is like Boros, and I'm gonna want a Spell Snare. Or opponent kept a 1-lander. Both of those are good cards, but not necessarily stuff I want. No. Ban the non-believers. Ban the non-believers. Get out of here. Undercity sewers. You know what? Sure. We will go shields down this turn, and if you find a threat in the lands, sweet. Ooh, not Boros. We're playing Goldfish Simulator? Feels like it. Know what's happening yet. Is it Zoo? I could see it being Zoo, and this is going to be a fetch for a Triome. And they just couldn't play, like, they couldn't get a Triome and play out something last turn. No, then why would they leave the Misty unfetched? All right, I no longer have an idea what it is. Definitely Zoo. Definitely, without a doubt, Zoo. This is an Amulet Titan. It's also not a preliminary because I got the buy round 1. Speed up the clock a little bit. Solitude often Orum's Chant. Anybody who thought they knew what this was is a liar. Oh, that deck? Clearly it's that deck. Mark, what's up? Maybe blue-white control with a Sacred Foundry and a Windswept Heath. But this is Omnath Chant. I hear you saying words. It's just like the words aren't making sense. Like, oh yeah, this is Omnath Chant. Sure. Like, I believe Omnath. Everything I've seen so far looks like an Omnath deck. That was loud. Mark coming in with a 6-month resub. Thank you so much. Welcome back to the subscribers. Making Sultai. Thought about some Sultai earlier. I'm just gonna drown this. Like, drown this, untap, play a Murktide. 75 counter spells up. Milton coming in with a 10-month resub. Thank you so much as well. Hope you're having an awesome afternoon. Maybe I'm not gonna go for the Murktide. Maybe I just don't need to. Like, if I go Bowmaster, shoot you to 8, hit you down to 4, then I just have you dead next turn through a bunch of counter spells. Then if you do happen to deal with all my Bowmasters, then I'll play a Murktide. I guess I might as well just fight over stuff, right? Like, how many answers can you put on the stack right here? I'm gonna go to my turn and like upkeep, evoke a solitude. No. Be gone. Think you're gonna order your foil Mercadian Mask counter spells? Sounds fancy. Got a bunch of stuff to maybe bring in. I don't know what of this I'm actually bringing in yet, but I want to think about it. I don't know if they're like more creature based or I just didn't see spells or if they have spells or what the case is. So I saw Solitude, I saw Omnath, I saw Eternal Witness, saw Prismatic Ending. I'm gonna do like this. Still debating buying the SpongeBob counter spells. Those glorious, glorious counter spells. They're so sweet. I think we're just gonna fire off a Thoughtseize here in case they do have like a Ren and 6. Ren and 6 to Fairy Time Reveler, stock up Prismatic Ending. Oh boy. The fact that they can, in fact, Prismatic Ending a Kaito is really annoying. Are we not playing the 67 special today? Do we have a 67 special? Or are you just talking about playing the entire or not zoo mill post board? Okay. So let's see how we're gonna get that into play. They've got Prismatic Ending, a stock up, bunch of unknowns. If I play out the Harbinger, they just bounce it with the Teferi. These are like all things that I want after I get Teferi off the board. I just need to get from here to getting Teferi off the board. It decides to tick up Teferi. We can't do anything on their turn. So we'll just go ahead and get our other Surveil land, then decide on Kaito. I don't know if they misclicked or just didn't want to count to 4. But a Prismatic Ending on 3 is not going to answer Kaito. So, a little bit. I don't know if I would consider that like too much of a lucky break. What's happening? Let's say they pay the 4 mana and they exile the Kaito. They've got 5 cards in hand. They play land, Prismatic Ending, the token, like second Prismatic Ending, clear the board, take up Teferi. We untap, draw into Thoughtseize, get basic Swamp, Thoughtseize them, play Harbinger. Next turn, they take Teferi up to 3. We attack Teferi down to 1. Play Bowmaster, ping off Teferi. And now we're chilling with like Subtlety and Force Negation. They have no red or green mana. We've got Harbinger, Bowmaster token. Like, we're probably in a pretty good spot. When Flusterstorm's good, Modern's pretty good. Flusterstorm's pretty versatile against a lot of, like, generically cool stuff. When MH3... Oh, God, burn. When MH3 first dropped, we were playing a ton of Dimir Shadow. And Flusterstorm being able to, like, hit everything you cared about out of Storm was huge. But then being able to hit, like, Kozilek's Command was sick. Frog is great. So we're going to keep Frog on top. We're going to draw the Preordain. And we're just going to start, like, throwing stuff into Frog like nobody's business. Ooh, Rakdos burn. Fatal push. God, find his lands, please. Bump in the night. You're the critics. I'm so dead. Okay. So I really need, like, a basic island here. I need counterspell up just ASAP. But it doesn't make a lot of sense to bolt in sync to have counterspell. Let's say just have triple 1-mana burn spell, in which case, GG me. Basic island. Basic island. I need to make this a 2-turn clock. I don't think I'm going to be able to, but ideally it would be. I'm just not going to have time to survive otherwise. Let this goblin guide attack to see if maybe they can put a land on top for us. On, just pass back. Just pass back. Steering plays into the yard because they can't canyon into it. And we're just going for it. If they had the burn spell, they'd cast it. Frog! Oh. A number of people ask about Frog, or like how to beat burn. And that's usually it, is what you just saw. Like, play out a Frog, go in on the Frog, try to outrace. Because they're not going to be able to get the Frog off the board. It did flood a bit. No argument there. We got a frog, but it's a very painful frog. I think I'm going to keep anyway. Okay. How do you always play against the red-black burn deck? I've never played against it. Couldn't tell you. Same reason I get paired against Yawgmoth at like every major event. It just shows up. Okay, so we've got a decision to make here. Opponent just suspended a Rift Bolt. I have the option of playing out the frog or passing and fatal pushing and like developing my mana. The upside to developing my mana is if I want to double spell next turn, I can do it pretty painlessly. The downside is I wouldn't have Frog on board. And I think I'm more interested in just slamming the turn 2 Frog. Because if they do have like a fatal push or some answer for the Frog, I can throw out a bunch of stuff and then just play a big FrogTide next turn and not really lose a lot of tempo. Like push plus scolding. I think I would be more inclined for scolding if like I was on the play, but turn 2 they didn't play out a threat. So I think if they had one, they would have played it out while the board was clear. I was tapped out, not suspend a Rift Bolt. If they attack, this is like 100% Searing Blaze. So if I block 3/6 damage, I'd have to discard 5 to keep the frog alive. And I think I'm okay with that. Because I would be discarding to the frog anyway to get the FrogTide online. Now I'm kind of surprised. Really surprised this is Bolt and not Searing Blaze. I could discard 3, save the frog, trade off with the Swift Spear. One, two, three. How many cards am I willing to discard? I know I'm okay discarding Bowmaster, Stern Scolding. If I also discard Sink, then I can trade with the Swift Spear. And if they put one more burn spell at me, I could discard Push and still trade. So yeah, I'm going to throw some stuff away. I've still got the FrogTide in the back. So I don't feel like this is that bad of a trade-off for me. Extirpate. Sweet. I would not have imagined extirpate there in a million years. There is zero chance you ever could have paid me enough to predict extirpate there. Harsh mentor after surgicaling my my frogs is in fact a bold move. I'm so ready for this terminate on my FrogTide. Doesn't look like we're gonna be so lucky. Alright, so because of the spell choices my opponent has shown me thus far, I'm very, very interested in staying out of range of exquisite firecraft if I can. That kind of seems right up their alley. Do they still play that? I appreciate you asking if they still play exquisite firecraft after we just saw extirpate harsh mentor. I feel like all expectations should be off the board, like completely. Sweet. That was my reading for the week. God bless. We also talk about the fact that it looks kind of like young Dingo with a beard, like longer hair. I think I'm going to keep this in the blind. Sweet. To say Lupus Centurion Enchantment Obscurist. My guy had some time to come up with some cards. All right, so they Thoughtseize take my Thoughtseize. I think I'm just going to play out. No, I should probably Thoughtseize. It would kind of suck if they play like a Dothy or something here. And I'm messing around with just playing Dirtle lands, or they have a Psychic Frog. I'm going to take that. Heck yeah, there's 4 of them. It's me and my bros. You don't have just one bro. Bro. They've all have just like enchantment or text boxes galore. Basic fix cycle. So Urborg cycle. Urborg Yavimaya cycle. That's kind of cool. That's kind of something like I wish they would finish anyway. I don't like or I guess I kind of get the names they chose. I wish they would have been a little more unique. But when you're comparing it to like Urborg. Okay, so opponent has got a counter spell up. I think I'm gonna go for dismember their bowmaster on their upkeep. See if I can get them to burn this counter spell. It will, sure. Every time I see someone starting with basic swamp and then realize they're on Dimir, I understand how much they're hating the swamp. It's true. Okay. I might as well kill this now. Opponent aggressively reading what on earth is drown in the lock. We're gonna go bottom. I need a threat too bad. All this other stuff just like doesn't really matter. Murktide or bust. See, we have chosen bust. Rival cycles. Why does this look like keeping up with Kardashian cycles? All right. This is how we're doing this. It's so bad. I hate everything that is going on here. One would you like? Tied off the top rope. I really hope they don't get punished by like drawing Merc counter spell and they just have this basic swamp up. That would be terrible to have to see. Go, powerful man. Mighty Morphin powerful man. Pretty good one. Okay. Now we have Frog Go. Opponent's got Dismember. I assume this is just going to be like Dismember, I counter, they counter back, or second removal spell, whatever. I take a hit from the subtlety, and I'm going to have to top deck like exactly a Murktide. No, I've got the counter spell. I guess they could have another subtlety. That would make sense. Or they got a Murktide. No, second Dismember. Okay. Merc Father. Merc Father. Not a Merc Father. Game 2. Got Kaito's, Stern Scoldings, Mystical Dispute. Don't want Force. I'm like really not in love with my post board plan in the mirror. It's like I want Spell Bomb, but with Kaito coming in the mirror, it gets a lot worse. I want Thoughtseize, but I feel like I'm better off if I just cut Thoughtseize and try to stay more like action spell dense, kind of like old Jun mirrors. I think Bowmasters is pretty mid, but like Bowmasters Kaito is really good. Stern Scolding's great into Frog, even like late game. It's great into Bowmasters, but it misses Kaito's subtlety. Yeah, I trim forces because I don't want a 2-for-1 myself in the mirror. You think we're gonna dodge a Thoughtseize? Probably not. Like, especially with Kaito now, you don't want to be stuck with Force and Negation. This looks so bad into Kaito. Murktide, Kaito, Subtlety, Frog, Force is just like bad against all the best cards in the mirror. Rest of the cards they're playing on your turn most times. How do you feel about Wizards staring? How did you feel about Wizards stating they're watching blue-black Oculus decks? If you're talking about the fact that they said Oculus instead of Murktide, I could care less. Like, I do not get people's obsession with like just clamoring over that one word. Like, they said Oculus instead of Murktide. They're out of touch with the meta. I mean, I think them saying they're watching the blue black, the Dimir decks is fine. Because according to the matchup data we've seen, like the blue black decks have been doing well. They've been showing like the second or third highest win rate in modern. So it kind of feels like they should be getting watched. In your opinion, what are the key things to do right in the blue black mirror? Try to stop your or try to stop from having an extremely like tempo swingy turn. They're gonna happen from time to time, but try not to put yourself in a position where your opponent is just able to like use a mana advantage play on you and swing it into something that you have like a difficult time interacting with on their turn. Um, I kind of think this is Kaito. They could have a subtlety. They didn't Kaito last turn. They could have another Bowmasters and plan on like pinging and trade with the subtlety. Like, I don't feel that bad if they're just like subtlety me back because I'm just taking one and they tap out on their turn. If they want to do that, I'm pretty okay. But what I mean is like, you don't want to put yourself in a position where, say, turn 2, you're on the play in the mirror, you jam a frog, and your opponent gets to like fatal push or mystical dispute or spell snare or something, your frog, and then untap and play their own frog. Because you just gave like a huge tempo swing that one turn for no like real advantage. Stuff like that gets you killed in the mirror very easily. Mm. I kind of want to just play Kaito and tick up. Like, if they had a Kaito, they would have played it by now. But if I play Kaito tick up and they play, like, attack both at Kaito, dash the Bowmaster or ninjutsu out the Bowmaster, kill my Kaito, then I'm just, like, completely screwed. I can just go for a Murktide right here, which is probably pretty good. But if I'm going for a Murktide, I need to play out the Sink as a land in case they have second Mystical Dispute. They could also have Dismember, though. I think I'm going Kaito tick up. I'm going to save the Sink. Kaito tap the Dork, only loses the third Bowman, right? Sounds right. But I can also just like Kaito tick up, or keep ticking up, try to like sink into Stupor the token, and then I'm just never losing to the Bowmaster. That's pretty good. And just keep Kaito ticking up. I am still just like terrified that they're gonna find a Kaito of their own, and then I'm pretty rough shape. But I just kind of have to believe that if they had a Kaito of their own, they would have played it by now. hand's probably just like a bunch of counter spells, like spell snare, stern scolding, counter spell, just stuff that like I haven't tapped out into. Do have another bowman. Add another bowman. And then yeah, I'm just draw going again. Kaito's lethal from next turn onward if I tick up again. I'm also not in fear of it dying to a dashed Kaito on their end. I think I'm just gonna attack with Kaito and not zero it yet. I get obviously really punished if they have fourth Bowmaster, but if not, then I get to start zeroing Kaito, which is really good in a board state where like they can't do much. Like if I put them down to 1, I'm happy with that because that just double strip mines them. And if they block, I'm happy with that. I guess I can't zero this turn, but I can like preordain. So let me tick up Kaito. Or no, they can't Bowmaster Kaito if I do preordain. So this is like safe, even if they have the fourth Bowmaster. I'm going to tick up Kaito again so it's not dead if they have an end of turn subtlety. Kaito. Kaito. Do you want to upkeep crack Spellbomb there? I don't think so, because I'm not really afraid of a Murktide. Like, if they play out a Murktide, I could go for Sync on it. They could counterspell whatever. I could EOT, go to Sync. But I still just have, like, Kaito Stun. I've got Sync. I've got Spell Snare if they have a Frog to go along with it. I just have like so much going on that I feel like I can kind of wait, get that second or that other preordained coming off the top. I can cast that and then start trying to like crack Spellbomb into something I aggressively want instead of just cracking Spellbomb into the preordained that I knew was on top of my library. At least again, it's kind of what I was thinking there. I don't think there's anything obvious that I can cut. Just like this card is clearly worse than everything else. Let me get it out of the deck. Oh, drown. One card I can cut. But like if I wanted to keep in Thought Seizes, what am I bringing Thought Seize in over? I do think Thought Seize is like pretty good in the mirror, but are we saying Thought Seize is better than Preordain, or Thought Seize is better than Counterspell, Bowmaster, Push? That's kind of how I feel with it right now. Is it's good. I just don't know. There's just nothing that jumps out at me as like it's better than this. Also, this right here, this opponent mulligans to 6 cards, is one of those major reasons that I've liked having or taking the draw in the FrogTide mirrors. Like a mulligan in the mirror hurts really, really bad. Like it's turn 1, I'm already up 2 cards. Value Thoughtseize over Scolding. Could be reasonable. I just think when you like the game is going to go long, right? And Thoughtseize being able to take like a counter spell to push through a threat is nice, but Stern Scolding stopping like a Bowmaster from coming down and ninjutsuing into a Kaito is a big deal, or stopping stopping a late game frog from just coming off the top and resolving. We're just going to play out the Spell Bomb. Keeps a card on top. Pretty okay, just getting my other Surveil. If they got a Bowmaster and they want to do that, that's fine. Okay. Then they're going to attack in. Ross coming in with the raid. Thank you so much. Welcome everybody. How's the post breaching going? I think I saw that's what you were playing earlier. We're gonna fatal push before block. So if they do have a Kaito, they gotta pick up and get rid of this Fork Army instead of picking up and double value on the Bowmaster. Not well so far. That's not what you want to hear. Is it just like noticeably worse? But for everybody coming in off the raid, if you haven't been here before, my name's Michael, control freak on Magic Online. Play a lot of Modern, especially a lot of FrogTide. So that's what we got going on here for you today. Hopefully taking down a mirror match. But looks like opponent's going to dispute back on my frog. Deck needs a combo and the right interactions, and finding the appropriate support will take some trial and error. I know I've seen like Kethis floating around. I've seen Song of Creation floating around. I've seen a lot of people playing like the mono blue kind of affinity style. I definitely do not know enough about Breach to know which one's right. I'm gonna try Kethis next week. Kethis seems pretty sweet. Whether it's good or not, I have no clue, but seems sweet. So many lands. We'll just go ahead and jam FrogTide while shields are down. Please don't subtlety me, bro. Kethis gets to play all those like trade binder legendary lands that nobody realized were legendary ever. Still don't believe half of them are. If you bolt this in, I'm going to believe you've got subtlety. But then nothing else because you didn't subtlety the FrogTide. What do we got? Misclick. It said they misclicked. I'm seeing if they had this subtlety. This is just like clear. I have dismember. So we're not going to be blocking there. They said they wanted to bounce the FrogTide with the Sink into Stupor and accidentally played it as a land. Put out a Kaito and see what happens. Okay with that. They're going to counter my Kaitos one way or another anyway. Might as well make them have it. So I think their unknowns are a Dismember. And I have no idea what the other one is. Maybe like Dismember another counter spell. Dismember a subtlety. But I do think one of them is a Dismember. So now, I do believe it's Dismember. I'm still attacking because I can't subtlety plus Dismember. I could go for the Kaito first. It's better just to tack in. If they go for a subtlety to chump block, then I'm 100% shoot the sheriff the subtlety, get my 6 damage in, resolve Kaito. But I still just have subtlety feeling in the back of my head. Never mind, what do I know? I don't really need a frog. Don't feel like frog does anything for me. Ninjutsu the Murktide after damage. I could, but Murktide's like already one of the best threats that I can have on board. So I feel like I just want the Murktide here presenting damage or presenting something they can't deal with, as opposed to ninjutsu it, reset it as like a 3/3 and it be a 2-turn clock instead of a 1-turn. Plus, if I think they have a dismember, they can't kill the Murktide right now. So it's kind of just chilling. This is Bowman plus Dismember. Full retail. I don't think they should pay 2 life for this. Because now they have to chump block the Kaito. If they had stayed at 5, they could have taken a hit off the Kaito. Maybe like drawn another Bowmaster or something to kill it. It also, like, gives away that their last card is either Spell Snare, Mystical Dispute, or Fatal Push. Those are the only things that matter. We will see if it's a Spell Snare. If it is, it is. If it isn't, oof. So tack in with our Kaito. It has to chomp. Make a ninja emblem. Go. All right. Hopefully Kaito can completely hard carry us in a mirror match here. Love to see it. What's the thought on not winning there? On not going for the stun? I think the stun just like opens me up to unnecessary plays. Like they were untapped there, right? So if they had a Bowmaster, then maybe like stun, Bowmaster, chomp, another something. I guess Bowmaster wouldn't do it with the spell snare in hand, but all right. So if this is a mystical dispute, I want to evoke this subtlety. Did they have 1 mana? I could have sworn they'd already untapped. If they had 1 mana, then yeah, stun and hit him in the face is fine. I thought they'd already untapped. But we're just evoking subtlety to play around Mystical Dispute. Because it makes sense that Dispute or Push would be one of their last cards. They didn't Spell Snare the Shoot the Sheriff. There's only like 3 options. Gameplay. You're probably not going to find it, unfortunately. Or any of it. On the play, we've got a Surveil land. It's basically a cantrip. I'll only bully you with DRC memes. That's also fair. I don't think this hand is great, but it is on the play with a turn 2 frog. I've got some interaction if I miss on the land, so I think I'm going to keep it and be a little risk prone. I've got a few looks at a second land. Really gonna do this to me, deck. Really gonna do this to me. Show me that preordained that we all know isn't gonna see a second land. We don't even have to cast it. I'm gonna bet something like preordained shows Bowmaster counterspell. We bottom both, draw into Murktide. Bolt Scourge. Alright. Preordained shows Bowmaster counterspell, draw into Murktide. I swear to God, if I draw the Bowmaster off of this. Okay. It's a little bit better. Scourge. So close to calling that, though. That would have been a wild call. Absolutely wild call. I'm going to be greedy. I've got Thoughtseize if I miss. We don't miss, we can just play out a frog. Shouldn't call those hits. Once you've cast enough preordains looking for a land, you've got that second sense. It's just like, bro, you about to be disappointed. I don't know what you thought you were going to hit, but this ain't it. This 2012 Affinity or what? Well, I don't see. I don't think it's quite 2012 Affinity. Like almost 2012 Affinity. Blink Moth Nexus has been activated. They did activate the Summoning Sick one. So they can't tap this one for mana for what it's worth. They can activate the back row one, but if they want to do that, that is 1000% okay with me. But no, they can't use that one. Never mind. Sure. Feel like I'm pretty okay with this exchange. Their hand's terrible. Ooh. Feel a little bit worse now. Okay, 2012 Affinity plus another 2-mana colorless card. Or I guess a 2-mana colorless card and a 6-mana blue card. Just what you expected out of Affinity. How many Blink Moth Nexi? I'm just gonna draw a card. Just chip away at these Blink Moth Nexuses. Nexi. Draw. That's exciting. Go. They don't put anything interesting on the stack. We could flash in Subtlety. We could draw a card off our Cling to Dust. We could... Pretty scary. Really like that. That card's why 2020 or 2012 Infinity was scary. Oh, Arcbound Ravager too. But yes, I agree. Plating is a terrifying Magic card. A little bit less scary without a bunch of Mox Opals sitting around. But I do need to be careful and like try to get this game over with pretty quickly because I start running into the risk of them finding like a saga and life just getting unbearably difficult. We got a Kappa. Plating number 2. I only have 2 threats right now. Part of me wants to let this go. But I should probably just counterspell. Especially now that they have a black source. I think if I had like another just hard removal spell, I'd probably consider trading. Or not trading, but not counterspelling there. But I think since my counterspell is just like a bounce, or my removal spell is just a bounce effect, I'm a little more interested in saving it. Could cling and draw a card. I think I want to. I don't think I really care about. This life is okay. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So gaining 3 would give me another turn. But at the same time, having more cards could give me another turn too. Doesn't really matter what I exile since they're about to exile my yard anyway. That's kind of rude. I'm so ready to get like Galv blasted. Okay. The frog's pretty decent. Carry on. Silver Bluff Bridge. Sounds like Silver Bluff, you got it to me. One card in hand, so we will discard to this frog. Jump this frog. Block. Our turn. And now, hopefully, with just double counter spell frog, we should be able to find some way to get across the finish line. Nice. All right, game 2 against Affinity. Golding looks good. Mystical Dispute, Harbinger, all reasonable, consigned, fine-ish. I don't know. I feel like they aren't playing Opal nor Saga. If they're not playing Saga, then Consign looks a lot worse. But I feel like I have to assume that they're playing Saga because they played Tormod's Crypt. Like, who out here in 2025 is playing Tormod's Crypt without Saga? There's no way they're not playing Saga, right? All right, let's brainstorm a bit. We saw Vault Scourge. We saw the Hexproof do the Automaton, Blink Moth Nexus. There's just no way that they're not on like at least Opal, unless it's a budget thing. But we didn't see Thought Monitor. We didn't see Thought Cast. Let's go like this. I'm not going to bring in Harbingers on the draw. If we see Saga, I'll bring them back in on the play. I won't go overkill with the consigns. I just feel like using context clues of any affinity deck I've played against previously. Why dispute though? Kappa Cannoneer. I just want like an extra answer to that. We saw the Cannoneer. I know they're on that. I would assume they'd be on like Thought Monitor and Thought Cast, maybe Emery. But I guess I can't really assume much of anything. Drown pretty bad into Affinity. Why would Drown be bad into Affinity? Especially a version with like all the cheap dudes. Just an extra fatal push. Especially against all the man lands. Trying to lock an Ink Moth Nexus with a cranial plating on it. That's just like chef's kiss. Really hope this slows things down a little bit. Nice. Two for two on needing that second land and seeing a Murktide. So, haven't run the numbers, but that's pretty good. All right. Gonna be a bit of a rough one without the land drops. Forgot I was on and started watching the YouTube vid. Why watch YouTube when you can watch live? I'm here. Let's go Island. Bowmaster down the Blink Moth. Definitely try to click pause on the Twitch stream entirely too often, thinking it's a YouTube video. I think I'm gonna not block this turn in case I hit another Bowmaster off the top. Be good. You have no idea how prepared I am to throw cards into this. I do have Thought Monitor. Opponent has just been lying to me about their entire deck building. Everything I thought I knew from OP is just a lie. All right, that Patchwork Automaton is officially getting chump blocked. So, if we can find another land, I could potentially Fatal Push and consign the ward trigger, like removal spell consign the ward trigger in the future. Why not fly the frog? Well, it doesn't matter if I fly the frog, right? If I choose to kill the ornithopter, then it doesn't matter if the frog's flying or not. If I, like, it's free to do, but it doesn't matter, right? It's like I'm not getting through unless I kill the ornithopter regardless. Yeah, I know they have jar, so it's going to have to be like push, they jar, and then the turn after, like, shoot and regenerate or something. Or shoot and consign the trigger. But we'll go for this. Maybe there's a chance that they decide to regenerate here instead of the automaton. Oh. All right, so we're gonna put a block on you. And we're gonna fatal push. And we're gonna pay for the ward. You're gonna welding jar. So now we have, I guess we're shooting, or like just shooting. Yeah, now we're definitely just shooting and paying for the ward instead of going through the whole consign. We'll do it on their upkeep just in case of Metallic Rebuke. Or wait for them to play a spell. The problem is if they just don't play a spell, though, then I kind of spend my turn not really doing anything, and then I have to chump block. Or I don't have to chump block, but I don't want to go to 6. I don't want to give up my Bowmaster for nothing. Alright, so we're going to consign the Saga trigger going to Chapter 2. This way they can't make any constructs. I do think that the Surveil land is a little bit more important than the 1 extra power on the Frog right now. Yeah. Wonder what their last card is. What would make sense? My opinion here, the plan is to leave Cranial and counter payoffs. The problem is they've shown me Ornithopter this game, so they can just get an uncounterable payoff off the Saga if they want it. So, like, they can get a threat and one I can't interact with outside of, like, Sink into Stupor. But I don't want to waste a Sink into Stupor on an Ornithopter. Again, it's like that spot game 1. If I had another actual removal spell, I'd be okay leaving the cranial plating. But without an actual factual removal spell, I'm a little concerned. But we do just have like a 2-turn clock here, so I think we'll be okay. Not with those. One, two, three, four, 5. Fine. That looks like frog food to me. What do you think is your best and worst matchup? Best at the moment, I'd probably say is Amulet Titan. Worst would be Orzhov or Yawgmoth. Yeah, MTGO can be really, really daunting if you don't really know like what you're doing to get started. It's not bad when you do, but opponent gave the old GLHF, so 100% on Eldrazi. How are you liking Thoughtseize main versus side? I really like Thoughtseize in the main, but it's made my board plan in the mirror really, really awkward. And if the mirror is becoming more popular, then I don't want it being that clunky. But I really like Thoughtseize against like the majority of modern. Hollow one. Hollow one. Not cool, bro. Not cool. But it kind of caught me with my pants down without a force negation. How many hollow ones you got? They got an ox in the graveyard. No hollow ones. Opponent is clearly a scrub if they ain't got no hollow ones. They ain't no hollow one, girl, because you ain't no hollow one, girl. Got triple hollow one yesterday, turn one. I was so excited. I feel like you weren't that excited. Probably pretty frustrated with how that played out, honestly. I mean, Hollow One is just like the epitome of I high rolled or I low rolled, and I either won the event or I 0-3 scrubbed out, and it wasn't even close. I would just love a breakdown of like how many Hollow One players had started an event with like turn one Burning Inquiry, discard 3 Hollow Ones, and then just like pick up their stuff and leave. Just like, this isn't worth it. I shouldn't have done this to myself. Hollow One's a sweet deck when you're up against them and they're not going off. Every other time, kind of miserable. So if I block and discard fetch, push, that's not bad for me. And I've got counterspell for like Oxyvagonus. Obviously, losing my push kind of sucks. I can discard Delta counterspell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know if I want to discard counterspell in the face of them having an ox in the yard. Like, I think discarding is fine. It's just having to pick what to discard. And I really feel like I'm supposed to keep the counterspell. I think it just stops like the most explosive turn right here. Which would be something like a Goblin Lore, a Burning Inquiry. Never mind. Magic's easy. This game is stupid. Why do we ever worry about anything? so good at top decking. I mean, sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ox needs 8. I mean, this has got to be like the most obvious orcish bowmasters of all time, right? Flameblade Adept is fine. Don't you dare put a Goblin Lore on the stack. Or is this just faithless looting? Yeah, they need one more card in the yard for Ox. Been keeping up with that. I think this is just flashback looting. Hmm. It's just hard cast Phoenix. Yeah. That is in fact not a looting. Okay. Let's shoot. The shark is easy to chump block, but I do think I want to just kill it here. I could block the Vengevine, take 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Have Bowmaster up. Frog hits in for 5. I have counter spell. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna chump block the Vengevine here. One Flame Blade was already there. The second one wasn't. They did haste up the second one. Definitely not out of the woods here. One, two, three, 4. They cannot. They can't bestow twice, which is nice. think best case scenario would be flashback looting. I let it resolve, shoot the Phoenix twice, and then make the Orc army, because then I can block. And I just counterspell this. I'd say just counterspell this. I'd still have to jump. But if I counterspell this, they can't bestow it again. If I let this go, 6 in the air, I'm at a virtual 5. They can't attack with the Phoenix. I trade with the Root Walla. I'm at 3. Does this change what I'm dead to? If I counterspell this, they can't replay it. They're attacking with the Vengevine anyway. So, like, I need to find a land to bounce the Phoenix. If they... Four, 5, 6. Yeah, I don't think it really matters. I think it's like whether I counter it or not, I have to find the Phoenix answer. Three, 4, 5, 9. So I need to block. I need to save the life in case I find a shock land. No. Spell snare, you curse me. Is this? Can I just hard cast another Vengevine? All right. All right. At least have some decent stuff to bring in. I think I want Kaito. What all do they have it to? Goblin lore, fear of missing out. Is there anything else? What does the current Hollow One list look like? Goblin lore. This one's like not even running FOMO, so maybe it's just Goblin lore. In which case, Snare is pretty bad. Magebane Lizard coming out of the sideboard. Does their mana suck? At least I'm looking at it's just like 5 basic mountains and they can just get them whenever. I think a couple Thoughtseize is fine. Don't want a bunch of them, but... Two Kaito for tempo. It's not really a tempo matchup. It's kind of a do something early and often to not die matchup. Once you get to like that 3-4 mana spot, you don't really want to be playing a 3-4. You kind of want to be doing something that keeps you from dying. I'd say that was a pretty successful Thoughtseize. For them, for me, it's like, do you stop their initial stuff? Yes, and they just flop. Usually how it is, yeah. Did you survive the initial onslaught? If yes... All right. I think I'm going to go ahead and Fatal Push. Just so they can't have a Phoenix. I don't want them to have an untapped, just play Detective Phoenix. Now I've got like 2 threats on the board. I know I want the Bowman. I think I want the Sink. I hate that I can't get like full Undercity value, but it's just like a card I would like access to. Then play out Spell Bomb in case they have like looting into something. Again, just to try to stop the explosive turn. Like standard. Standard's okay. I don't like mind standard, but I don't really go out of my way to like learn standard, if that counts. Standard just kind of exists in proximity to wherever I'm at. Shouldn't be passing priority in case they, or auto passing priority in case they're going for a street wraith into turn or something weird. Surgical extraction, my fatal push. I will respond with cling to dust, my own fatal push. I just want opponents to Burning Inquiry our Bowmaster. It's a pretty fun time when it works out. Zeriok, you lovable, lovable bastard. Resolves. And the cool thing is, with all of these triggers on the stack, I can like go to spellbomb them if I want to stop a phoenix, or if I saw a phoenix in the yard, I can spellbomb them. But I probably would spellbomb here because like I kill off the flame blade, they're down to 2 cards. I've got a quick clock with what I've got. Plus, if I need to subtlety a threat, I can. So, yeah, I'm probably just giving up the spellbomb there. Wait, opponent, I was waiting for that moment. You took this away from me. I had one joy in life, and you just ripped it from my arms. How dare thee. What did I play against before? What did I play against before this league? I know 4-color Omnath round 1. Affinity. I can't remember if Zoo, the blue Zoo list was here or if it was the preliminary. The Dimir mirror. Something else. Omnath and Affinity seemed tough. I think Omnath got Kaito'd. And Affinity. Affinity, we almost had a tough time. Land light in one of those games, but somehow managed. Please put a 1-drop creature on the stack. Yes, I would like an untapped land. Now we've got shoot the sheriff, drown the lock. I'm going to respond to this street wraith because if they have a Phoenix, a Detective's Phoenix in hand, I want to kill the Mako before they can cast the Phoenix. Oh no, this is a pirate. I can't even shoot the sheriff this. It's kind of lame. Still going to drown it, but lame. It's a pirate. Why does it have to be a pirate? Drowning a pirate, how poetic. You gotta do what you gotta do out here. I'll take a force. Okay, let's think. I need to stop an explosive turn. Opponent just put a Vengevine in their yard. So, what would a like blow you out turn look like from them right here? It would be haste up arena. One drop, get back Vengevine, like cycle Street Wraith. I think I'm going to pass with Counterspell. I think I'm going to wait till next turn to Frog with Force and Negation. Call me a coward if you will. I do have double looting. But like they didn't play the land last turn. Bet shock pass. Bet shock pass. What on earth does fetch shock pass indicate? No, it's not weird to want to go for a land, but I think I'm just going to hold up Stern Scolding. Like, play the frog, hold up Scolding, and force and pass. Opponent just gave me 3 free damage. All right. Got rid of my counter spell. They bend a hollow one. There is, and it's crazy when I live in. I mean, it could have been a lot worse. Thankfully, opponent didn't have like very critical mass of cards. Well, we're definitely saving this frog. eventually. Who needs a second frog? Who needs a stern scolding? Not I. Land is pretty clutch. Let's hit you with the Psychic Frog, play a big Murktide, hold up, shoot the Sheriff, and hope that's good enough. Go. I don't have a clue what they can hit off Faithless Looting to get them out of this, but it wouldn't be the most shocked I've ever been in my life. All right, so pretty solid league there. I wish I could remember what we played in the middle there. So if I counted everything up, I know we played against Storm twice in the preliminary, split those, beat Blue Zoo, beat the Mirror, beat Omnath, beat Affinity, beat Hollow One, had a bye in the preliminary, and something else at some point that I cannot for the life of me remember what it was. I counted the Mirror in there somewhere. Let's pay out the believers. Prediction result is heck yes. This rate, I've made 20,000 channel points betting for you to win these 5-0 matchups. I'm glad somebody bets on my behalf. We got all these people that just like consistently bet no because they think I'm a scrub. And I get that, but at the same time, like, give me a little faith. What's your Sheriff Dismember split? It was 1-1 that league. Usually I'm a fan of the 2 Dismember, but at the same time, we ran into Mako that made the Shoot the Sheriff look pretty bad, so who knew that thing was a pirate? Saving up to make you play 5-color Omnath. Savage. Open the chests. I can't open the chests. I gotta sell the chests. I'm trying to look at how possible it is to become a full-time content creator. And the only way I can justify that to myself is if I'm like also selling off winnings to supplement a little bit here and there. Okay, here's your choice. I can open the chest or I can work towards becoming full-time on here. One or the other.